is going to be really, really good. I mean, I have like a little bit of notes here because this is kind of a touchy subject. And I do want to preface this with saying, I'm not hating on the mindset work, but I think we have a little misunderstanding going on about what mindset work is and like how like the mindset work most of you guys are doing is really holding you back. So that's what we're going to talk about and why. And so it's not a hate on mindset work or mindset coaches or anything like that. And if we have any mindset coaches who hop on, even on the replay, they can totally share their outlook. But I do think this is common sense. And I do think this is going to snap you into reality and make you see why, even though you're doing all this mindset work, or even if you've just realized that you're blocked, you must be blocked, right? What's actually going on, how you can actually get over it, because that's the important thing. Hey, Elizabeth. Okay, so we're going to share this in my group. Say hi, guys, as you hop on. Your mindset work is turning you into an invisible pushover. I love it. I find that hilarious. Okay. Guys, the title is just for fun. I think it's hilarious. I think it's a hilarious title. So if it pisses you off, maybe that's a good thing. But, well, when I was writing my notes, what actually came up is that there's this very specific thing going on that's turning you into an invisible pushover. And the only reason I get to say that is because I see it happening to you guys, but also because I was the invisible pushover for a long time, you know what I mean? So, because I was doing my mindset work this way. Hey, Shauna. Hey, Melissa. Hey, Elizabeth. I totally forget if I said hi to you or not already, but I think I did. Okay. Ready? We'll just jump into it. Say hi, guys, if you're hopping on. I see more and more people getting on, which is exciting. I think this is going to be a really fun topic. Again, if you guys have your own opinions, if you agree, like, type it in. If you disagree, type it in. This is a conversation, but this is also something that I actually do believe. So, we'll do some teaching too. So we'll do some conversating and some teaching, right? Okay. Hey, all right. So this is what was happening. You guys know Unleash Your Six-Figure Badass is open, right? And you should all be in there. Some of you are not, so I don't know what's going on there. I mean, if the sales page isn't working for you or something, just send me a message because I don't know why else you want to be in there. But here's the thing is these women were joining and literally they are like melting my heart away. Like, I don't know if I'll have any heart left by the end of this program. And I mean that, does that sound like a negative thing? I mean that in a good way. Like, every time I go in that group, I'm like, oh my God, like in the best way ever. Like, I love them. But the thing is, and I'm going to call them out, but the thing is, when they were introducing themselves, I asked them like, and if any of you guys join today, you'll get these prompts to go through, and not only will they help introduce you to the group, but they're going to bring a lot of awareness to what's going on in your business, and I'll coach you through it in the comments of your post. So they were introducing themselves. They were telling me like, how are things going in their business? What made them join the program? What's going really well in their business? What's not? Where do they want to go, right? And one thing that almost every single woman mentioned in some way or another, not all of them, but most. More than not, most of them said something like, yeah, I know this is a mindset issue, or definitely a mindset thing going on, or something like that, right? And at first I was like, oh God, I don't know how this program's gonna go anymore. Because that to me, when someone says that to me, it's a little bit of a red flag when they're like, I'm just so stuck. Something's blocking me and I don't know what it is, or something must be blocking me, or even worse, I know exactly what's blocking me. I know it's a mindset thing. I just have to get over it, right? Because guys, it doesn't really take time to get over something. And I know a lot of you might be like, yeah, it does. It doesn't have to though. And this is like where we're going to go with this. But I was seeing everybody saying these things like, yeah, I know it's a mindset issue, or yeah, I'm definitely going through some mindset stuff or whatever. Some of them had even worked with mindset coaches, things like that. And that's fine. I'm not saying anything bad about mindset coaches. I think that's great. And they're probably got their own style of teaching, right? However, I'm not talking about the people with the mindset coaches. I'm talking about the people thinking that the reason they aren't getting results is because they have a mindset thing going on. And okay, you do. But the mindset thing going on is that you think you have a mindset thing going on, or that you believe you must be blocked, or that you believe something is blocking you. And especially if you're saying that statement, has anybody said that? I'm all about this, speed it up, things can be resolved in an instant. Yes. And Elizabeth, I used to be the worst at this. I don't know if anyone else can relate, but I used to take forever to make decisions. I truly believe that I could make a mistake. I truly believe that I could make the wrong choice. I truly believe that I could fuck things up. And so I would take forever to make a decision. That is the issue. And that is, I guess it's a mindset issue because it's something going on in your mind. It's the belief that you could make a mistake, you could fuck it up, you could make the wrong choice. But does really sitting on the choice actually help? No. Does stressing about money actually help? No. Does wondering if you're going to piss people off help you with anything? No. Like, none of this is helping you. So here's the mindset work I need you to do. Get the fuck over it. And I'm doing this because I think this is a technique to speed things up. Tapping technique or something. Being sarcastic. Okay, I'm not stuck. I refuse to think I'm blocked any longer. Totally. Having a block is the new procrastination. Hallelujah. Yes. People used to clean their whole house. Now they just laminate their mindset issue. I'm so glad that you're here right now, Elizabeth. Okay. Well, that's exactly it, guys. And this is a moment to laugh at yourself and to realize that you're being ridiculous and that you need to move on. Because, okay, so here's what's going on. After these women went through modules 1 and 2, they suddenly, and some of them may still believe that it was a mindset thing. It doesn't matter what you call it, right? Like, I did a post in an email yesterday about how mindset, what did I say? It's not a mindset thing, I promise. Or like, why your mindset's not the issue or something like that, right? So I'm going to get up on today and actually explain this even more. But maybe it is a mindset thing. Maybe we can call, that's not what matters. What matters is that you're using that as an excuse to stay in your head. Guys, this, like, I think from here up is the devil. And from here down is God. And I'm just kidding. But like, seriously, if you're in your head, like, you are trapped, right? Can you guys relate to this? We've all been there. I mean, you might have been there when you've had a shitty relationship issue going on, when you've had to make a really big life decision, when you wanted to take action in your business and do something different that was scary. If you get stuck in here, your head, oh God, it sucks. But here's what's really great is that you can choose to get out of it. All right? And people ask me all the time, well, how do I stop stressing? Like, is that even actually possible to stop stressing? Yeah, it is. It's literally a choice. And we're grown adults. We're all grown adults here, so we know how to do this. But it's just another way of being a victim. It's just another way of feeling sorry for ourselves. It's just another way to take the easy way out, which is kind of stupid to say because I don't think staying stuck is actually the easy way out. I think doing what's scary. I mean, I messaged my coach yesterday and I said, this is a new coach that I haven't really talked to you guys about, but I messaged her and I was like, you know, I think I need to start thinking about the next thing because I no longer feel afraid about this thing, right? So when I first raised my prices to 20K, I was like freaking out. I did not know if anybody would ever hire me again, right? It took time, whatever. But then once it started filling, it filled out in 6 weeks, right? So 5 people. That was scary, but then I got over it. So then I did the course, which was scary because if you only get one person in your course, that's embarrassing. And the course was new content that I had never taught before, and it was my actual truth, with which no matter what your truth is, it's usually really scary to share. And so that was scary. Now it's not scary. I'm still working on filling it, right, to my expectations, but I'm good, right? So I'm not afraid anymore. So now it's like, all right, how can I get back into the fear? Because the fear is a good thing. If you're not afraid, I think there might be something going wrong, you know? Like, you're at least not going at your fullest potential if there's not even a little bit of fear and or urgency, right? Okay, realizing the issue, block, whatever, is the moment it disappears. Yep, just shine a light on that shit and then it's not scary. It shouldn't take ages to work on it. Yeah, exactly. It's just, It's literally, guys, I'm going to give you the answer. It's deciding to use your fear as the guide and follow it. Follow your fear. And I don't mean if you're afraid that if you raise your prices, nobody will sign up. I don't mean follow your fear as in, okay, listen to it and don't raise your price. I mean, go head on, double your price, raise it higher than you wanted to, right? I just raised my price again. And actually it's not even that scary because I mean, it's just already done. It's good. Someone's already signing up for it right now. So anyway, I just did that and it was scary, but then I went head on because if it's scary, you're supposed to do it. No and fear feel very different. No feels like this just feels wrong for me to do. This doesn't feel like what I want to do. Whereas fear feels like, oh God, I really want to do this, but I'm terrified. Go head on. And that's what I've been teaching. And it goes a lot more in depth in the course. And we break down all the areas of your business and your life to do this in. And there's a ton of questions to guide you on your actual to-do list of things to do. But what's so cool about this course, and I'm talking about the course, yes, but you can get things out of this alone. Although there's no reason not to join the course. But, what we're talking about is like fear. Just take action. Go head on towards the fear. Just do it. And actually what you'll learn is that that's the only way to do it. And that if you don't do it that way, you stay in that cycle of either nothing happening or you keep having those learning lessons. And all these learning lessons you're having. So how many of you have had a learning lesson of, I need to trust my gut next time. I just need to do what I want to do next time, right? Anybody ever had that learning lesson? 5, 6, 7, 8, a million times? Anybody? You're going to keep having to learn that lesson over and over and over and over until your natural reaction is to go against the fear. Totally. Cool, guys. I'm glad that you're getting this. Of course you guys are, but okay. Let's see what else my notes say. Well, and that's the thing. And did I say this yet? But I'm just going through my notes. I want to make sure these couple of things on my notes are like the good stuff. So I want to make sure I say it all. Because this is the things I want you to realize. Some people will tell me, I don't know if I'm intuitive. I don't know if I can hear my intuition. Sometimes when I get that gut feeling, I don't know what it actually means, right? You all have intuition, for sure. However, yeah, if you haven't practiced using it, if you're blocking it, if you're not listening to it, you may feel like it's hard to hear. But can we all agree that fear is crystal clear? There is no mistaking it. Fear is so easy to hear. It's like, I like to say it's the loudest voice. And so many people are like, they think that sucks. They think, gosh, this is what I was hearing from the women in the course and now they're killing it. But at first they were saying like, it's my fear and my doubt. It's my fear and my doubt. Fear and doubt keep getting in the way. Fear and doubt keep getting in the way. No, fear is screaming at you. And maybe fear is a gift from the gods or the universe or whatever, right? Because it's so loud and clear. And if you just use it as like reverse psychology or something and do exactly the opposite of what it's telling you to do, you'll be A-okay. And you'll actually be following your desires that way. So all of you guys who think that you can't hear your intuition or you don't know if you can trust yourself or, what else is it? You don't know what you even want anymore, right? I've heard this from some of you guys even on the call or on the live stream. If any of that is stuff that feels like you, this is the cool thing. Fear is one of the loudest voices in your body, and it is not you. So you don't need to trust yourself. You don't need to hear your intuition clearly. You don't need to be an intuitive psychic. And you don't have to trust yourself, and you don't even have to know what you want. You just have to do the opposite of your fear, and suddenly you will not be blocked. For me, I don't have fears. Ooh, but I'm still not getting the things I want in my business. Sarah, we might have to talk about this. I don't know. Your greatest gift is on the other side of fear. So, well, it's like, Sarah, okay, you don't have fear. I would test it. Okay, the first things I would look at, and maybe this isn't good for you, but this will be helpful for others, look at your prices. Is there a price that you could raise your program to that would be scary? That wouldn't be a no, but would be scary, right? Or is there a type of program, a live event with 100 people, or an intimate retreat in another country, or where all expenses are paid, or, you know, a group program launch, or investing a certain amount in Facebook ads. Like if that stuff, if anything there scares you, then maybe that's your next step, right? So for me, I know I'm meant to be holding even more events. I've only held one and it was small, which it was amazing. But that's what I'm going to be doing next year is a couple of events, a mastermind-ish thing, things like that, because I'm really great at group programs. Like I think that's where my best coaching happens a lot of the time. Really great at courses and things like that. Live courses, really. That's actually me playing small. Group programs and courses, I can do that all day long. But what's equivalent to that, but in the fear realm, is big events and like putting my all into it. And what's scary about the event, it's not actually speaking in front of people. It's not actually connecting with you guys. Like, oh my God, are they going to be freaked out at how tall I am? Or like whatever. It's committing to it. It's paying for the spot where 50 to 100 people can show up to your event before you know if it's actually going to happen. To me, that's fucking terrifying. And it's terrifying too, because I think it probably would be a little bit embarrassing if it didn't work out. Like at least part of me would be embarrassed. I think a lot of me is kind of over that at this point, but do you get what I mean? So that's how I know that that's something I definitely have to move into soon. So stay tuned. But Sarah, maybe that still doesn't resonate. I don't know. Cool. Okay. And here's where this comes in, the invisible pushover thing, is what I wrote in my notes that I thought was hilarious. It just like came out of me, is fear is what's causing you, well, actually what I wrote is fear is causing you to be invisible. Because, and we'll get to the other good part. That's what I first wrote. I was like, fear is causing you to be invisible. And what I was thinking here is module 2 of the course is all about content. And I do go into strategy there, but it's not what a lot of people might expect. It's not templates and things like that. I mean, I talk about important pieces of posts and live streams and stuff, and I talk about my exact schedule I use. And we do talk about tools and systems and stuff, but what it's really about is content that stands out. And standing out and being seen for most of us is scary, especially like for me at a certain point, it was like, yes, I want to be seen by millions. I want my following to grow overnight I want my list to have 10,000 people. I want that. But that was me wanting to be seen by millions, talking about Facebook ads and strategy. But when it came to me actually speaking my truth and sharing my story and the stuff I really truly believe in, and the things that people may disagree with me about, like this live stream was a little scary to do. It's going amazing. But someone could pop on here and be like, yeah, you don't know the first thing about mindset, Taylor. Like, shut your pie hole or something, right? But this live stream, it would be scary if this live stream went viral. But if I was talking about like Facebook ad strategies or something, like that wouldn't be scary. So even that's the difference, right? So fear is usually that thing that holds you back from actually being your truest self and showing up. It's even the simplest fear of like, I feel like I'm too boring, so I'm not even gonna try to share stories. Or I feel like my story's like everybody else's, so I'm not even gonna try, right? Fear is causing you to be invisible. Most of my private clients, I put them on a teaching detox. They are not allowed to teach anymore for however long I tell them, usually about 2 weeks. It's like no teaching for 2 weeks, because all they do is teach. Teach. If all you do is teach, you will become invisible, because anybody can do that. You know, you could watch this live stream and go teach the same thing and maybe people will like it, but eventually you're going to become invisible, because what you're talking about, anybody could talk about. The things that make you stand out are your truth and your stories and your experiences and whatever you want to call it. But then I got thinking, one thing I'm afraid of is being a little bit, and we're going to use the word pushy because that's where the fear is, being a little bit more pushy in sales conversations with people, right? Just a little bit more sass to the point when I'm really thinking, because I'm a little bit more of a pushover, and I've gotten better at this, but I used to be a serious pushover, and some of you have learned that or have heard about that. So fear is like, I don't want to reach out to that person because like I don't want to cross the boundary and lose them as a client. Anybody ever been afraid of that? Maybe if I say this, I'll lose them totally. I've had a couple of clients telling me that recently. Or like, if I say that on the call, maybe I'll lose them completely. Like that's usually the fear, is losing the lead, right? Especially if you really do want to work with them. So fear not only causes you to be invisible, fear causes you to be a pushover. And so for some reason I find this hilarious. Fear is what's causing you to be the invisible pushover that you are, right? Cool. I find it funny. Does anyone else find that funny, or is it just me? I think I find it funny because I'm like laughing at myself. Okay. Yeah. Mindset's just an awareness. How do you really get over a block? It's action. I do have a story I wanted to share with you guys possibly. So I think some of you may be a little worried because you're like, well, what do I do? Or how do I do it if I'm so scared? Or how do I stop stressing? And that's just a choice you're going to have to make. And if that's you, then probably the course is for you, but only if you're actually ready to do it. And if you're like, if someone just told me exactly what to do, I am so ready to have the 10K, 20K months that I will do it, right? Because all of us, every single one of us, I don't care if you've invested in a $10,000 private coach, $20,000 private coach, if you have done all the investments you possibly could, you've done all the programs, there are those pieces of homework that you have not done simply because you weren't ready or you weren't comfortable or it was scary, right? Like, that's what's holding you back. And if you just do it, especially if it's the right thing for you, then you'll get there, right? But here's what was really empowering for me was I got this intuitive hit that one of my clients was not going to pay me. And I've heard this from a lot of people, I can't pay my invoice because so-and-so didn't pay, or I can't sign up for your course because my clients aren't paying me, or nobody signed up, or whatever, right? You're putting the blame on someone else. Even though you don't realize it, you're putting the blame on someone else. Even if you're saying, I'm just so blocked, like I've got to get through this and then I can sign up because I've got to make a little bit more money first. You're trying to do the safe thing. However, I had this intuitive hit. It wasn't fear of like, oh God, now I've signed these clients. Are they going to keep up and pay? There was one client where I got this intuitive hit of like, she's not going to pay her second invoice. And I knew it very early on. And at first, I was like, what's wrong with me to immediately assume people aren't serious about their commitments? What's wrong with me to immediately not trust this person, right? And I think that triggers all of us when someone doesn't pay because it is kind of disrespectful and it does show a lack of commitment. And it costs us all time and money and stress, but besides the point, what happened was I mentioned this to my coach, and what I love about this coach and what I love about what I get to teach now and what I've learned is that her response was not, okay, journal on this and figure out what's really going on, or think about what happened with your parents that makes you think that people aren't committed, or which is probably a lot of things, but that's besides the point. But it was, okay, who cares? Who cares if your client doesn't pay? What does that have to do with anything? And I'm like, well, and what was funny was I wasn't actually afraid. I'm like, well, it actually doesn't matter that much because I will survive, right? Fine. But it took me to this whole another level of empowerment because she said, Taylor, it does not matter if all of your clients don't pay you. It does not matter if people don't like your course. Like, none of that matters, right? You are the source of income. You are the source of your results. And it was like, you can dig into all the stories you want. You can dig into all the mindset issues that you have. You can dig and try to figure out what's wrong with you. But the fact is, if your client doesn't pay, who the fuck cares? Like, you'll make another $5,000. You'll make another 20, 25K sale, right? And so it happened, and then within 48 hours, a new perfect person filled the spot. Actually, under 48. But the fact was I had to not stress about it, realize that it was a learning lesson, but also take the power, like, don't give her the power of, oh God, she didn't pay, oh God, this sucked, I don't trust anybody. Like, that's what I hear from people. They get so freaked out and stressed out when clients don't pay. And then it keeps happening, and they just fall deeper and deeper into the victim hole, right? And it does not have to be that way. When people make it about you and the lesson and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, Julia, I have some clients that I collect payment from, and I have a team of people that helps me harass people if I think that they're totally in the wrong. However, this person, I was like, yeah, I want to end our contract. I've had people pay me for my coaching without getting any of the coaching because it just depends. It just depends on how I feel and what the situation is. But I've also had people this is gonna make me sound like I'm going into the victim mode, but I'll just say it. I've had people knowingly not pay, and I've had people who I know are spending their money and not paying me, buying from others, like, and then trying to pretend it didn't happen. So, I still bless and release them to someone else to harass them for the money. But you know what? I only really usually try to collect what's been given, which nowadays is hardly anything. Like, that hardly ever happens. I think it's only happened one time this year. No, that's happened 3 times this year. Now that I think about it. So, usually though, I think bless and release is a good way to go. Bless and release. So yeah, with this client, it was like, I don't feel like holding this space, and we're just gonna have to end it because it's best for both of us. You know? Oh, sorry guys, my thumb on the screen. Any other questions? Any other thoughts about this? I'm gonna pick up my computer. Thank you guys for being on here. But I wanted to get to that last story because it is an empowered feeling. Like, so many people, as soon as that client wouldn't have paid, they would have made it about them. They would have wondered what's wrong with them. They would have wondered if anybody will ever be afraid to afford that rate. They would wonder if they screwed that person over, if it's wrong. Like, they would get so in their head about it, where the fact is, if what you want to do is charge 20K or 25K or $1,000,000, you just have to know there's a reason for that, and that 1, you're worth it. And 2, if it's a desire that you have, then it's what you're meant to be doing, and just move on. So you don't even let that affect you for more than a minute. Like, you can be like, yeah, that's kind of fucked up that that's happening, but whatever, on to the next, right? Yeah. That's the thing though. Be the empowered woman that you are. And remember too, all of you guys who are coaches, or all of you guys who have courses and things like that, where you want women in your programs, or men, women and men, whatever, who are empowered, meaning they pay you on time, they're not afraid to give you testimonials all over the internet, they do all of the work, even if it's scary, they get the best of the best results. That's an empowered client. And if you want empowered clients, you must be the first to become empowered, meaning you take responsibility for everything, and you don't make that this, it's not like you taking responsibility for, you know, your siblings because your parents are dicking around or whatever, that may, like, and it's all the weight on your shoulders. It's, you take responsibility for your life and creating it, and you just keep going. So if a client doesn't pay, you're like, this is so awesome. This was my reaction. I was like, this is awesome, because I know I'm getting closer and closer to manifesting and bringing in the 5 clients who are totally 100% committed, do all of the work, pay on time, pay in full, and actually get the results, like the really good results. Because if you're working with me one-on-one, like, you probably shouldn't be working with me one-on-one if you don't want to be having at least 20K months, if not 30 or 40. And if you don't want to be signing high-end private clients and launching group programs, because that's what I'm good at one-on-one. Right?